come to the bold analysis. CBK Governor Patrick Njoroge is spelling doom in what exactly the economy will look like in the next few months. And according to him, William Ruto will still have to contend with communication to the public about wait, we are still fixing the economy. And according to the CBK, Central Bank of Kenya, they published this information even in their website. Patrick Njoroge says that after William Ruto came into power, and of course we've seen a very close relationship, Ruto going with the US. I think Ruto have just decided that he's going to the US, he's going to that side, not the China way. The strength of the dollar is improving, and that is not a problem. The danger is it is weakening the Kenyan currency. Last year, at this point of time, the dollar was going at 110. Now it is between 126 to 130. Now, this means that we may default in paying our loan, because on back home, it's hurting the economy. Paying loans is one of the biggest things that we really need to sort out. And the big problem in fixing our economy is actually the issue of the loan. Nicholas Mutua, economy expert and insurance, is saying that US dollar is the accepted worldwide money for trade. And if Kenya is buying it at a high price, it devalues our shilling. So our shilling is doing badly. Take at least some time. Just go to ask in the forex how the Kenyan shilling is trading. You will find out, and even our diaspora audience who tries to send money home can help us get this exactly. And I'm actually, one thing that is really puzzling me is US are having midterm elections, and in Africa during elections things are normally not very stable. But wow, they have election, they are doing their midterm elections, but things are just still stable. So it shows the difference. But there's someone from US can help me understand. Why do you think the dollar is improving on their end, and in Kenya it is doing badly? Now, this is it. You know, at one point, I think few days after Ruto's swearing in, we've seen a lot of meetings between the executive and delegation from the US. And these conversations have been about bilateral agreements that touch on trade and other aspects and developments here and there. But one of it was the lifting of ban on GMO. This was a 2012 thing. And the president, who is, we are told, is a guy who did botany, lifted that ban. Now, with lifting the ban, it means that US is flooding our space or our market with agricultural and livestock production materials, most of which are really because of the ban on the GMO. Some people really argued that with that, we were already setting ourselves as the stage for dumping. Of course, different interpretations to the impact of that GMO lifting. But it also indicated that we are so cozy to the US, and preferentially, what exactly is also happening is we are hurting more. And according to the CBK statement, this is what is coming out, that we import most raw materials for all our industries with the dollar up. So what it means is that kama we were buying the dollar at 110, now we are buying it at 130 or 126, it means that the Kenyan money to buy those raw materials is high. We're using a lot of the Kenyan money. Okay, let me get someone to understand. I know someone will be asking, okay, sasa Kevin nange economics mingi. No, this is it. $1 we are buying at 130 Kenyan shillings. We used to buy it at 110. So, but again, we're using the Kenyan money. So it means that where we would use $2, we're using more, or where we would use 220 Kenyan shillings, we are now using 250. So the Kenyan money inaenda sana. And then back home, we have a deficiency of the Kenyan shilling. And that's why our shilling is going down. Because most of it, we are using it to buy the raw materials. But the tragedy here is that the same extra cost the companies are incurring to bring in the raw materials for the value addition, we transfer that cost to the buyer. And that is why we may have to contend with perennial inflation. That inflation is most likely not going to go down today. I insist, and I can still say this, Unga will not go below 200. Not now. Whether we subsidize fertilizer and get the production, we still have the price of petrol and fuel high, which is supposed to do some value addition, kushiaga hiyo mahindi, and even gari na transport uses fuel, we're still going to be where we are. So the lie that things are going to soften tomorrow, I think we should just be honest with you and tell you the truth that this is not going to come down today. Now, it means that the president may have to contend with still some hardships. This is the challenge. And when I said the CBK boss, Patrick Njoroge, is saying that we may default in paying our loan. And you know, when you default in paying loan, it means that you may not be viable for more advanced loans because government is being kept afloat by loans to pay even our recurrent expenditure. So wakati uko na deni, it means you are in the bad books with even the other financial providers. You are in the bad books, and so you may not get more advanced loans. Good enough, we have agreed. Even William Ruto and the Kenya Kwanza are at the same page that look here. You cannot do away with loans. IMF approved, I think that was 2 days ago, 57 billion for us. I think it's part of the 38 months program, which I've seen people saying we should actually renegotiate. I don't know why we are really thinking about renegotiate everything. We've got that approval. So we must pay. We must pay. And I want to believe it is because of these constraints, it is because of these financial developments in the global stage that is actually even provoking our debt servicing issue agreements with China. Because at the global stage, when our shilling is doing low, our capacity to pay the loans are low, not only the US is affected, even the loans we picked from the East. So there is a bit of that is coming out. And I can say this, that it is now time for President Ruto to withdraw from the campaign. Withdraw from Wanjiku's eyes. Because the more you are with Wanjiku, the more you are tempted to explain this is going to be this way. You know, when you talk to the public, you will already be tempted to say things are going to be wild, things are going to be well. I think withdraw, retreat back. So that when you come out finally, when you say something, you don't keep on promising. You know, when you are almost in the media throughout, you'll keep on saying things will be good, things will be good. They're not becoming good today. And the value addition, even in our locally produced goods, is still hurting Wanjiku. This is what is causing all this inflation. When the dollar is up, everything else is up. because kama ni kitu inakuwa the processing companies here, they buy the raw materials from abroad. Whether it is any other country, the dollar is US dollar is the one that is being used. So when it's up, more expenditure, and then it's coming to up. So CBK is telling government that you may have to do heavy taxation on the Kenyan people. Prepare to be taxed. On this one, prepare to be taxed. And the challenge here is, may be global. Quite a few people may contend with you from the point of knowledge, but people will try asking, hey, how about Uhuru hakwa hivi? You know, and when the comparison is being done, that's where now Ruto will likely lose the points. The heavy taxation. And the bombshell is on the Hursler fund. And let me tell you, according to CBK, when the global financial markets are actually advancing, or rather, let me use the word advancing to mean increasing, then even the local banks must conform. Most likely, it will be difficult for financial providers, solution providers here, to conform with the one-digit interest Hursler agenda. It's not going to work. And let me tell you, this is the one I really like. A bank to give you a Hursler loan at zero rate, not zero rated, a one digit, while they have financial solutions, other loan solutions that are in the rate of 10 plus. Which ones are they going to give to their clients? Which one are they going to sell? They will start putting up a lot of impediments to access to that Hursler fund. So I can foretell, according to this, that the interest waiver on Hursler fund, because if it is provided by the private entities, then it will be a bit of a waiver that Ruto is pushing for, might fall below the global standards. And here is why that Hursler fund will actually lack competitive advantage to other funds or loans that are being given. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not still going to work as of now. It's a matter of wait and see. But according to CBK, Ruto will continue telling the Kenyan people to give him time. But will they give him to the next 5 years? And that's my goal.